Now, as we know, the electricity prices are set to go up. When it's cold on days such as this, many Sowetans are looking to use their appliances, and obviously the usage of electricity would also increase in that sense. What is your committee's response to these proposed tariff hikes, and how do community members, specifically in Soweto, anticipate them being impacted by this potential rise?
Thank you, Kashelo, and your viewers. Yes, it's very cold, and we are facing high price of electricity, and that is happening in the context of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. You know, there is high rates of unemployment, of poverty in black working class areas, in the townships, rural villages, and you know, shack settlements. So when the prices of electricity increase, it means that there is more suffering, there is more hardship for ordinary people, especially the poor, especially the working class poor. So, you know, the prospect is not looking too bright for Sowetans and other working class areas. And there had been a little bit of hope that with the political changes, things are going to improve. So I think that the ball is in the court of the government of national unity to come up with a different plan, a different solution, which will address the needs of the people.
With the Minister in Electricity answering to questions in Parliament in the past week, he also alluded that it was reasonable for the percentage prices that are being asked by Eskom to know. So what was your response to that?
Okay, you never know what he means or says, because a month ago he was saying it's unreasonable. So it keeps on changing. But of course, it's not reasonable. I mean, these prices are above inflation, and they are hitting an already squeezed population, especially the poor. But I dare say even the lower middle class are suffering, you know, because they have, you know, big expenses. They also have loads of debt to address. So I don't think that these price increases are reasonable. In fact, the roots of the price increases are the problem, because at the moment, Eskom is not an efficient organization, is not providing energy efficiently. And then instead of addressing that, it is busy using tariff increases as an interim solution.
In what ways would you say the minister's assertions that only 2 million South Africans in the country are indigent, is this in line or in contradiction, rather, with the lived experiences and the realities of the people in Soweto, and just in terms of the access to affordability of electricity and the basic services in these pressing times for these consumers?
At the moment, unemployment rates in South Africa using the expanded measurement are at 40%. Of course, it differs from area to area, but I think to say 40% unemployment in Soweto would be fair. So that already means that about half of the South African population, certainly in Soweto, you know, is poor, is struggling to meet the basics. There is problems of food insecurity, problems of moving around, not being able to afford transport, you know, education costs, looking after your children, etc. So I think that to say that only 2 million people qualify for indigency is not correct. In any case, the very concept of indigency, you know, should be scrutinized. Because what is needed, because energy is a lifeblood of a modern economy. What is needed is to assure, even guarantee, a minimum amount of clean, safe, reliable, affordable energy to every person in the country, including children, so that life can go on, so that small business can thrive, so that students can study, so that old ladies, old men who have got medication in their fridges can be able to store them. So I think that, you know, this whole thing of indigency is just a ploy to duck the issue that South Africa is a developing country. It should have a developmental state whose main job, number one, is to roll back the legacy of apartheid, injustice, inequality. Number two, to get everyone on board and moving forward and improving their lives.
Just talk to us with regards to your committee's engagement with government officials, just some of the utility providers and the regulatory bodies in voicing the concerns and the demands, especially of the residents of Soweto, regarding just affordability, fair pricing and equitable access to electricity services.
Well, our most recent notable engagement was with the Premier of Gauteng when he called his energy indaba in August last year. So we thought that, you know, because really what is needed is a bottom-up approach where the needs of the people are addressed, where the people are giving their agency. They should tell us, you know, why they're not paying for their electricity, what can they afford, what are their complaints, what is it that makes their lives difficult insofar as energy is concerned. What we don't need is a top-down tick box, public relations, votes gathering exercise. And I'm afraid the Premier's indaba turned out to be that. Of course, if you don't address, you know, problems properly, if you don't go to the roots of the problems, if you don't engage the people, all your solutions just create further problems. What I gathered from that indaba and what I see Eskom, City Power doing is adopting what I can call a technicist, punitive, you know, a profit-driven approach, solution, you know, to this energy crisis. And that won't work at all. It will just create more instability, insecurity, and uncertainty.
All right, Dr. Trevor Ngwane, thank you so much for your time and for joining us this morning. That's Dr. Trevor Ngwane, the chairperson of the Soweto Electricity Committee.